name is Sherry James. I am the owner and founder of Phoenix Speaks Incorporated, which is a mental wealth consultancy agency. My dad was Air Force, and so we moved around a lot when I was younger. After my dad passed away, he actually passed away by suicide when I was 7. So I moved a lot when I was growing up. I spent time in Missouri and in Connecticut and Georgia. When people ask that question, they're like, "Where'd you grow up?" I'm like, yes, I grew up a little bit of everywhere. As I mentioned, my dad passed away by suicide when I was 7. My mom died the same way when I was 27, and I'm an only child. It caused me to learn how to survive very quickly on my own. And I was very blessed growing up, though, because I became a member of so many people's family. I was quote unquote adopted by so many families. I've got probably 1,000 brothers and sisters. But I learned a lot about who I am at my heart, and that a servant leader or a person who is a servant at heart typically wants to give to others and teach others and help them be better. And so I've been doing that my whole life, and I decided in 2019 to start a business where I could help people have conversations specifically around mental health, mental illness, and suicide prevention. And so in 2019, I had made a decision that I was going to try to touch just 2,020 lives in the year 2020. And I said, if I can just touch 2,020 lives, I mean, with social media, we can do that, and we should be able to nail that. But who knew that the pandemic would happen? And our business plan initially was, for every paid speaking event that I went to, because I do keynotes and I do corporate trainings, for every one of those we did, the business plan was to then go do that exact same program at a mental facility or at a military base or at a university, so that I could kind of doubly touch 2 groups of people. Well, then COVID happened, and all of those paid gigs went away. And I had to decide if I was going to continue on this mission, even with no income coming in, without a paid client base to support. And thankfully, Lendio was able to help us out with our PPP funding, which kept us afloat throughout 2020. Even in the absence of paying clients, we were still able to touch 1.5 million lives, thanks to social media and the help from Lendio. And it's just been overwhelming. I'm trying not to be emotional, but it's just been, even though those were some pretty big obstacles to overcome, I mean, we're still doing it to this day. We're still changing lives. We're still having those conversations. So it was a pretty dark time. It was pretty tough, but if I made it through this far, I'm not giving up. So we've made it through the difficulties, and if we have new ones coming, we'll be ready to face those as they show up. No one wants to be like the suicide lady, right? It doesn't sound, it's not a cool nickname necessarily, but the amount of support that I received from the local community, because again, no one wants to have these conversations. I'm not fighting off people. I don't have a lot of competitors right now who want to do this same work, right? This neighborhood is very focused on making sure that our youth have what's necessary to propel and be successful. The city that we're in now is called Prosper, Texas, right? And we know that mental health and wellness is a part of prosperity, and it's necessary. So I've been nothing but supported and encouraged by this community for something that I was so afraid to tell people. They're like, "What do you do for a living?" And I'm like, "I'm a consultant." And they're like, "Okay, what kind of consultant?" I'm like, "I don't want to tell you." But the community's been so welcoming and so warm and supportive, because people need this work. They need someone to do this. The good thing about the work that I do is that I can give it all away, right? Obviously, we still need to support our company, we need to support our business, but there's no benefit to keeping this information to myself. So if I can tell a person at the grocery store and at line at Starbucks, have you tried the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 tactic, where you just kind of, and people are like, "No, I've not heard of that. How do I do it?" And I can walk them through it in 5 minutes. And if that can help someone in that one moment, then it's worth it. It feels, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know that there's a word to explain how amazing it is to just help people make it through just today. If we can just get through today, So I love what I do. I'm sorry, I get kind of gushy, but it's just a blessing to be able to work and touch so many lives in a positive way, especially right now. It's awesome.